looking down the road just like I always do.
Well, good morning, Matrix. Welcome back to the channel. For those of you who have been here before, for those of you who are new to the channel, my name is Philip, and this is The Inner Road. I am a research psychologist and a motorcycle enthusiast, and I often try to take rides and talk to you about some stuff, basically talking you through some research, some ideas, some thoughts. If anything strikes you as interesting, but feel free to leave a note, a comment down below. If you have any questions, leave them there as well. If you are a returning visitor, thank you so much for coming back. That means the world to me, as you know, that you would come back and watch one of my videos as I ride. I'm heading toward Free Union, Virginia today. Here in leaving Charlottesville. I wanted to touch on something today that I kind of want to continue a notion that I brought up in my last video, where I was talking about how some people catastrophize and say things like, oh, the universe is out to get me. And how I was talking about how I think I handled my situation with this beautiful V7 Sport Moto Guzzi and had its oil leak. And I was trying to stay calm and cool through that 3-week process when the oil was being ejected from the bike, and then they had to fix it. And I started thinking about that, that's such a common thing. Like, obviously for people who are struggling, they'll say things like the universe is out to get me. And after I made that video, it kind of made me chuckle. I was thinking, I wasn't thinking that. That was the point of the video. But it's just such a strange thing that's our, when we get sad, when we get, we go there. We go to that ridiculous statement. And it's just this nonsense for me to say, like, well, the universe was looking out for me, right? Like, I mean, I don't think the universe is out to get you, and I don't think the universe necessarily is looking out for you. I mean, that's a debatable question. We could have that conversation. But I guess my point is, why is it that we always assume the worst when things go wrong for us? And, I mean, maybe the universe knew that if I had my bike for those 3 weeks, I would have done something stupid or gotten myself into a situation that would have been bad for me. And maybe that's why it had to be taken away from me for those 3 weeks. I mean, it's just as likely as saying the universe was out to get me, was scheming to make me upset. So that led me to this thought, which is what I wanted to talk through today. And that is, I think motorcycling may be one of the most optimistic things that a person can do. Now, it's not because riding a motorcycle is inherently, there isn't danger or risk. It's the opposite. In fact, it's because there are problems, there are threats, there is uncertainty when you get on a bike. Every time there will be uncertainty. And yet, we get on the bike and we go forward. This reminds me of some research that was done for decades by two psychologists named Carver and Scheier, Charles Carver and Michael Scheier, into what they call dispositional optimism. Now, dispositional optimism is a very specific definition from these research psychologists that I really love. And what it is that we believe that life is workable, that there will be challenges that we face, but that with effort, we will be able to get through those problems, and we will be able to overcome them and move forward. And I think there's some really important things in that, but it also speaks to me about, well, what does it mean to ride a motorcycle, right? As I said, there are going to be challenges, there are going to be hurdles, there are going to be unexpected problems that you're going to face. It could be weather, really bad weather. It could be a car coming into your lane unexpectedly. It could be motorcycle problems, oil leaking, or something even worse that strands you on the road. But yet, you're going to get through it, right? That's what dispositional optimism is that problem, that challenge, that uncertainty is workable. And that you have the desire and the energy to put the effort in to solve the problem, to try to get through it so that you can move forward. And like I say, that just sounds like motorcycling to me. I mean, the thing is, every time we get on a bike, we accept a certain degree of uncertainty. I may have said that, but it's really important, right? Like, there's an inherent risk to everything in life, but certainly to riding a motorcycle. And yet, we still swing a leg. We still lean into the curve that's ahead of us. Who knows? There could have been some gravel on that curve. There could be coming up on this curve right here. I'm going to take this one, lean to the right. It could be a dead carcass in the road. And yet, I still go on. Now, this is the thing with dispositional optimism. It isn't some belief that things will just work themselves out magically, right? That it's just blind faith that things are going to go okay. That's not it at all, right? We're not denying the danger. In fact, I mean, some of the very best riders I know are instinctually aware of the danger and the risk. It's become a part of what makes them a great rider. It is not denying it. It is accepting it, but yet still believing that those situations, as the definition states, those situations are workable, and you trust your training, you trust your skills, you trust your preparation, you trust that you are equipped to go ahead, to move forward, to make it through that challenge, to get past that hurdle, that unexpected uncertainty that inevitably will pop up. One of the things that the research shows into dispositional optimism is that people who have it and who have developed it, because it is something you develop. It's not just like an on-off, some have blonde hair, some have brown hair. You can develop dispositional optimism. Well, the research shows that when you have it, you stay engaged, right? You stick in when there's a problem. If you're a pessimistic person, if you don't have dispositional optimism, you just kind of freeze. You give in, you stop, probably very inclined to say something like, the universe is out to get me, I'm just going to sit here and take it. And again, that's what motorcycling, it's constant adaptation. If you can't freeze for very long on a motorcycle, right? You cannot just do nothing. If you're faced with a tricky situation, an unexpected outcome, freezing and just taking it isn't going to do very much for you. It's going to end in a very bad day on a motorcycle. So that's what it's like. These micro. Now, I'm not saying that like some of the issues you're going to face on a motorcycle are as big as other life challenges and uncertainties. We all face very big ones over time. But on a motorcycle, it's like every ride is filled with these micro adjustments, these micro adaptations to challenges, to problems that you weren't anticipating, particularly, specifically, but that you were prepared for, right? That's why you take the MSF course. That's why you practice your slow speed skills when you're starting out in an empty parking lot. And you swerve in that parking lot to make sure, and you work on your emergency braking, so that when you're on your ride, you have a belief in your training, in your preparation, in your vigilance, right? That's the other part of this. It connects to what I've talked about before, that mindful state that the motorcycle creates for you, where you have no choice but to just be right here, right now, 500 feet in front of me and what I can see in my mirrors. And if I get outside of that mindfulness bubble, I'm in trouble. So I'm mindful, and I have this generalized sense that I'm okay. I can't control everything, but I believe that I have the ability to work myself through and to even be vigilant enough to avoid any major uncertainties and problems that are going to come up, and at least handle them when they do. The other thing that dispositional optimism, well, optimism in general is it's future oriented. I mean, by nature, right? That's the point. The reason that you're positive about where you're heading is because you think you're going to get there, that you'll be able to see through the problems, work through workable problems, and your future will be better off for it, or at least it will be in line, hopefully, with some of what you're looking to do in the future. And that's all motorcycles are, right? This is a time machine. I'm moving into the future right now. It's the horizon. Optimism is built. It's built on the horizon, where you're heading, Where are you heading? Where do you want to go? And how do you want to get there? And that's all motorcycles do, is they allow us to have the agency, the self-direction, and a vision of what we want. Even if at the end of the day it's returning home like I will later today. It's not some cross-country ride that I'm on. It's still me right now moving forward in life, doing something better than sitting on my couch wasting time. And that's something that connects with dispositional optimism as well. The other thing optimism is it's social. It enhances our social sort of connections. Your romantic ones, and even just your good acquaintanceships and friendships. Being optimistic about the future connects to you believing that your friends will be there for you in the future and that you'll be there for them in the future. And as I've said before, motorcycling is inherently a social endeavor. Yes, of course, it's the beauty of it is to be able to get on the bike and ride individually, have these solo moments, right, like I'm having today. But if you want a social community, it's there for you. That's the beauty of it. It's this incredible opportunity to be individual and self-directed and agentic, to have autonomy, but at the same time to have real camaraderie with others who share your dispositional optimism, your love of motorcycles. What it isn't is hopium. Right? That's not dispositional optimism. It is not unrealistic or sort of immature optimism. That's why I'm wearing the gear, right? That's why motorcyclists who have it and who are good at what they're doing and want the best for their outcome, that's why in most states it's the law to wear a helmet, but not all states. But that's why we wear jackets that are made with armor in them to protect us if we fall, and they're made from a material that can protect the slide and perhaps hopefully save some of our skin, and why I'm wearing riding jeans today with armor and reinforced material, and why my boots are specifically made for motorcycle, right? There's no other reason for me to have all this on except for me to be able to say, I know what the risks are. I'm not pretending. I'm not immature, right? You see some of those people riding bikes on the, triple digits on a freeway, highway going, 110, and they got sandals on and shorts and a t-shirt, and yeah, they might be wearing a helmet because that's the law in the state. That's not hopium. That's not optimism. That's hopium. That's immaturity, right? I know that sounds very judgmental, but I want to be very clear. When I talk about us accepting the risk and taking it on, it is eyes wide open. It is us being prepared, but being okay with that risk and that uncertainty. It is not being immature and just saying, screw it, I'm going to go as fast as I can because everything's just going to be fine, I'm going to live forever. Carver and Scheier were very clear about that not being the kind of optimism that was helpful, that was good for us psychologically, socially, right? So be very clear about that. I don't know if, I don't know. I think optimists, people who are already optimistic, probably are going to be more likely to choose motorcycling if they're not already. But I don't know that I think motorcycling is also capable of teaching optimism, right? For all the reasons I've been describing here. So it can help you with your mindfulness, I know that for sure, but I also think it's helped me become more optimistic. Again, the good kind of optimism, the healthy kind of optimism. Every single ride becomes a small act of faith in the future. Every time I swing a leg on a bike, I get a sense of my ability. Every challenging road, every uncertain situation, it leads somewhere. It takes me somewhere. I learn something about myself, and I learn something about the community I live in, this beautiful state of Virginia. Wherever it is that you might live, you learn the same thing. And I think there's something beautiful about a hobby, an endeavor, a passion that can serve you well on so many different levels, psychologically, socially, in multiple ways, right? It makes you more mindful. It can build your sense of optimism, which can lead to feelings of autonomy and agency and having a sense of self-efficacy. You're capable of doing things that are difficult and challenging. And every time Every time is a lesson. Every time is an opportunity for growth and for moving forward. And I think there's something really beautiful about that. Just like the surroundings I'm in today. Well, I think I'm going to wrap it up there. I want to thank you all once again for paying attention to anything I say while I'm riding my bike. If you do ride safe. Make sure you ride your ride, no one else's ride. Be good to yourself. Be good to each other. And I hope to see you on the next one.